You thought I was gone. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Wingman's Hangar, the third edition. Today, we've got a lot of stuff going on that we're going to show the Star Citizen community, the Star Citizen fans out there, and we'll let you know what's going on. We're actually putting a little more structure into the show these days. We listened to what you guys had to say on the forums. Not going to stop being me. Can't do it. Can't stop the verse, Mal. But we are going to have a little more structure going forward. We've got some really cool stuff happening. So we'll let you know a little bit about that. So coming up today, we've got the week in review. It'll be a quick look at what we did this week here at Cloud Imperium. We'll give you a little update on what's going on here in the Austin offices as well as LA and Montreal. Then we've got the forum feedback, where we listen and we talk about some trending items in the forums that you guys have, things you guys want to know about, things that you're driving that will that we can answer. You know, some things we can't answer because we don't know ourselves yet. We'll also have an interview with lead animator Bryan Brewer. If you notice, we like alliteration quite a bit here, including in our hires. And we'll have new info about the show and the format as it's coming up. I mean, we want to let you guys know how we're evolving. And according to my wife, that has not happened ever. What does she know? She's not watching. If she is, hi, honey. Anyway, so we'll go on here. We have the week in review. A lot of things happened here this week at Cloud Imperium. We have 9, not 1, not 2, not 3. We have 9 new hires. They all start, most of them start Tuesday on the 15th of January. We're building up. That will put us here in Austin at the office of about 18 people, which is pretty doggone close to the capacity. We're going to have a minimum maximum about 20, 25 people here, and the rest will be outsourced, spread through Montreal and Los Angeles. So we'll be introducing a lot of them going forward, you know, throughout the community or through the show. We have new desks, PCs being built everywhere. You know, the last time you guys have seen the office, it's very, it was just desks, or no desks at all, actually. It was just walking around. So we've got a lot to show you. Lots happened. We'll be probably updating that here in the next couple Wingman's episodes. Full production has officially begun. That's right, full production. Roar! Oh, I think I pulled a... No, I don't have any muscles. So yeah, we've begun with the scheduling. We've got a modular development process, which we'll talk about here in a little bit going on. Things that will allow us to let you guys in on the production process quite a bit more than has ever been done in the history of games, as far as I know. And you know, but and hopefully it's a big risk for us because we've got to find time to let you guys in on it while we're doing it. It's a big balancing act, and it's going to be fun because you have earned it. Chris was here in town this week. He helped us get the Kickstart off, helped us get all the new hires in place. We got the design working. We got the art schedule happening. We've got the production schedule, and we've hired a new CTO, a CTO. What? And we'll be introducing him going forward at some point in the future. Also, one of the first things we want to talk about, I know a lot of questions have been asked about the Hangar module. What is it? What does it mean? How does it affect you? As I've said earlier, we're going to kind of try to do modular development. And what that means is we'll be releasing systems or portions of the game to you and let you tool around it and let you play. You know, you guys have done great things. You've helped us create probably the coolest game in the history of games, or at least on the way to creating. And we want to get you in on the process as early as possible. So in the Hangar module, you'll be able to see the ships you've purchased. You'll be able to walk around them, in some cases inside of them, look at them, check out the engines, check out the guns, all that kind of stuff. And that's going to be coming up later this year, 2013. And we want to get that in your hands for a multitude of reasons. We want your feedback. Because everybody's got a hangar that bought, you know, pledged in the game. You've all got your hangar, your garage. And we want to know what you want to see in there, what kind of things you like, what you don't like, what works, what doesn't work. You know, that'll help us focus our attention on the cool parts and ignore the bits that, you know, we think might be cool and, you know, maybe not necessarily aren't. So, we'll go on to the forum feedback. There's some of the trending topics in the forums this week. The Aurora. Everybody wants to know, what is the Aurora going to look like? We want to know too! We aren't ready to show you what the Aurora is going to look like yet, but it's in development right now. First we go through the concept stage, then we go to the 3D modeling stage, and as we get to that point where we're happy with what we got, we'll show it to you. We think a lot of players are going to fall in love with their starter ship and probably not want to change because the Aurora is going to be, we intend for it to be bad to the bone. Subscriptions. That's a trending topic. A lot of people are talking about subscriptions. People are enjoying the new Vault feature, especially the 2 videos in the subscriptions that show how the Constellation loads cargo. It's really, really cool. Now, I want a point about the subscriptions. The subscription rollout allows us to do things, more stuff. It allows us to have staff to put these things together professionally to where they look really, really good. And they get first crack at it since they're the ones paying for it. But those things will all eventually trickle down to the forums and everybody else that have pledged. So what it's allowing us to do is put more creative content out to you guys in a professional manner, which is a big deal, and it's really good. It allows us to have a producer for this show who's sitting right there. Put your hand in the frame there, Mike. There he is. Yeah, you don't want to see. The rest of him is not pretty. So that's trending, and that's how subscriptions are going to work. There's a good forum post in there by Chris. It explains why we're doing it, what went on. It was basically asked for by you guys, and it explains a lot better than probably I can do. Self-destruct. Should players be able to blow up their ships, and what impact would that have in the game? I like to blow stuff up. So it's going to be cool. We're still deciding on whether we're going to allow that mechanic, but I think the trend right now is yes, so that it blows stuff up. Everybody wants to blow stuff up. Come on. We just have to figure out how to basically make that to where we can balance that with people being able to capture ships versus being able to lay traps. It's just a mechanic that needs to be worked out on paper first, and then and then design. So we want to blow stuff up. Always, that's good. That's always the fallback. We just got to make sure it works correctly in the gameplay. What are the rotors on the front of those ships? Well, what are they for, and can we lose them? Well, the rotors are hydrogen ram scoops. They allow you to fly around and scoop hydrogen, which refuels the ship. You can read more about them in the ship's document at rsi.com. It's there, and you'll be able to upgrade those. So maybe you want bigger fans. Who doesn't want more fans? Yeah, it doesn't get any better, folks. Star Citizen Base, finally in the fan spotlight. Yeah, man, the guys at Star Citizen Base, they're doing an amazing job. They're another fan forum that's out there that's totally fan run. We post them in the spotlight, and I guarantee you, due to their incredible efforts, you'll probably see them more and more often on our front page. Anybody that does stuff like that, we want to support. The fans have done amazing stuff. Again, I point out to the Wingman's Hangar logo that was done by Pleasure, one of our fans, who, by the way, got a tattoo on his leg for Squadron 42, and it's just a shame that we had to change the name to Squadron 42. I mean 24 rather. We're sorry about that, Pleasure, but that's just the way it goes. It'll still look good. I'm sure the chicks will dig it. Actually, just kidding. It stands Squadron 42. Pleasure. Big ups to you for doing that. Big ups. You can check on the forums and see that again. You can also go to live chat. And the chat roll, Pleasure's always there. So we got Wingman's Hangar still going on here, and we want to introduce Mr. Bryan Brewer. Come on in, Bryan. Crowd goes wild. Raise the roof. So Bryan is going to join us. He's one of our new hires here at Cloud Imperium. And we've got some questions that we want to ask Mr. Brewer. So I understand you're a fan of science fiction. So why did you choose to join Star Citizen?
Well, like you said, I'm a huge fan of sci-fi. It's one of my favorite genres. It has been for quite a while. I'm also a huge fan of PC gaming, and the fact that Star Citizen is a PC game and you're only going to be able to run it on PC is a huge deal. Consoles will never be able to compared to PC games. I mean,
that is true. That is true. I mean, the PC. It's funny because over the course of development, the consoles have sort of taken over all the rack space at like all the best brick and mortar stores, and a lot of that's led to a lot of the publishers thinking that there's not a PC market out there. Yeah. And I think what we've proven with our community here is there's a huge market out there. They really want good quality PC. They want stuff that's going to drive their PC to the limits. They don't necessarily want to have just a port of a good console game. You can do way more with a PC, we're gonna.
Oh yeah. consoles, next generation systems, I've seen stuff that they're doing on them, and it's not going to hold a candle to what the PC
It's
can
not
do.
going to hold a candle or two. Okay, what's your role? What are you doing here?
Animation. Basically, anything you see on screen that moves or articulates is going to go through me. I'm going to be handling all of that.
So that's characters, that's
Characters, ships,
engines,
just
turrets.
just about anything that you see that moves, I'm going to be working.
So you're the lead animator, though.
Lead
so that
animator.
doesn't mean you'll be doing every animation.
Oh, well, I'll have a team of animators.
A team of animators. I like to see that. Animated. Well, basically, so if you're an animator, what's your favorite animated feature? Feature film.
Fully 3D animated movie has got to be Tangled. It's probably one of the best
Tangled?
animated movies I have seen.
That's cool.
Disney,
right?
Yeah, Blu-ray stuff I've seen from Pixar. I was totally amazed at.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Tangled and Pixar and Disney are kind of...
Yeah, but it's not a Pixar movie. It's a Disney movie.
Well, there you go. See,
So-
you learn something new every day. And what do you like about being an animator? Why did you choose to become one? What's
what's the old saying? GE Electric saying, "We bring good things to life." I like to make things move, articulate. An animator is a performer. We're an actor. We we want to entertain, and it's really cool to do something and get it in game, and you watch it over and over again. You think it's cool, and then somebody comes by and watches it, and they're like, "Oh wow, that's amazing! Look at how this thing transforms, or look at this move. Oh man, he took him down. That's a great, whatever that animation."
Yeah, we're going to be able, and you're right, and that is exactly what happens in the studio. Is we all share what's going on in the studio on a day-to-day basis, and we're incredibly overjoyed by the work that everybody does, and we all gather around and we're blown away. So uniquely taking that to the community level, I mean, you're going to now have hundreds of thousands of people seeing your work, earlier than perhaps they would have seen it before. I mean,
that's the great thing about this process and the crowdfunding and how we're putting everything out there on the table. I mean, it was amazing when I interviewed with you, and it's like, hey, what about NDAs? Any non-disclosures here? No, we don't do those here.
Well, yeah. Well, we do some non-disclosures.
We got to keep something secret, right?
We do.
But it's a work in progress. I mean, people get to see a work in progress. People who go to 3D forums will go to those work in progress forums and get to see people's artwork and how they do it step by step as they build out their models or do their animations. That's kind of how it is here. It's like you really, the fans really get a chance to go in and just see how games are made.
That is true,
impressive.
and that's still a developing process for us as well, because we've just, as we're bringing the people on, we're putting the schedule together. So Bryan will be interacting with you guys. Everybody on the team has got dedicated portion to talk and reach out in the community and say and be there for your questions and for your input. Doesn't mean we'll listen. Well, yes it does. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Sorry. So what other projects have you worked on? What other games? What have you done? What has the Bryan Brewer done?
What's my history? Well, I started in film and television. Worked at DNA on Jimmy Neutron, the first TV series, first episode TV series of Jimmy Neutron. Went to a post animation house. Did a lot of commercials for MTV and ESPN and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Had an opportunity to get into games, so I jumped at it because I love video games.
Yeah, I mean.
This was around the time their 360 was getting ready to come out. So I was working on one of the top 10 most anticipated games for the launch of the 360, Clive Barker's Demonic, which never got shipped, got canceled. But you can see it in Grandma's Boy. Go watch Grandma's Boy, and the video game that he makes in that movie is Demonic. And I worked on it, and a bunch of other animators worked on it, and artists and programmers. And so that was a lot of fun to go to the movies and say, "Hey, look, I did that up on a big screen."
Right, cool. That is kind of. So, what did you do just before coming here? I mean, you were here in town at another company.
Former Lightbox guy. Worked on Starhawk. I was the only animator on Starhawk.
So you did every animation in the game?
100% of those animations in that game is mine.
Wow.
As far as character goes, I did the mech transforming and flying. We have another guy coming on staff. He did a couple of other little animations. Kyle. He did like the little backpack folding out and stuff like that. But as far as character animations, 100% mine.
That's amazing. I mean, that's one of the things that you find out through development is, I've been doing this for 20, 25 years, and generally it becomes an 80-20 rule where 20% of the people do 80% of the work. And so what we're trying to do here is bring on those 20% people here. And we do the hero stuff, make the development, and basically develop the game with all the heroes. Hero right here, folks. So how do you think this is an interesting question. So how do you think the Star Citizen team is coming together?
It's amazing. I mean, because so many of us are from Lightbox. It's sad that Lightbox had to shut down, but it's great for Cloud Imperium because, I mean, you've got a great crew of guys here.
Yeah.
But, we've worked together for
chemistry's
chemistry's
evident. And there's some amazing folks that are coming on board from Lightbox.
Yeah, and we have a couple more guys coming on, Chris Smith and Mark Skelton.
Right.
I've worked with them for 6 years at 3D Realms on Duke Nukem Forever, and then Lightbox on Starhawk. And
and Chris is fluent in Deutsch, in German, so we'll be able to do one of these interviews in the native tongue for it. We have a lot of German fans out there, so that should be kind of cool. He may even say bad things about me on camera that I will have no idea what he's saying. It'd be just like home. So what enough about the games. What do you do for fun? What do you like to do? What's Bryan Brewer do on his downtime? If there, not that there is any when we're making this game, but what do you like to do?
Oh man, if I had a little more money and a little more time, I'd be off-roading. I'd be doing some 4x4ing, going to some parks. One of our other guys that work here, he does some off-roading too. So we're talking about going out and maybe doing a little event of a little excursion.
So do you do four-wheeling, or do you do? I mean, is it like one of those little four-wheelers, or do you do just like truck out? Oh, your truck.
You see my exterior? It's a four-wheel drive.
Oh, so it's not like one of those little.
Yeah.
The little.
Oh, I'd love to do those too.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun. I just don't know where I'd put one.
Yeah, I don't want you to get hurt. I mean, I don't want you to come in animating with like a broken arm. Can't quite reach the mouse. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So you're a big off-road guy. Get in the mud. Get dirty.
Yeah, mud's okay. It's fun to play with, but man, you got to clean up your rig afterwards. But just excursion, just going someplace.
Dude, that's what producers are for.
Just being able to go someplace that a lot of people aren't able to go. You can see some really beautiful pieces of the country.
And Austin's got a lot to see. Actually, there's a lot to do. It's a very very green area for the most part.
In fact, my ride into work every day is a little like off-roading. Some of these streets.
Have we mentioned the word of the day, Mike? Have we talked about the word of the day yet? The word of the day today is happiness, folks. Happiness. Remember that.
Playing games.
Yep,
gives me a lot of happiness.
So, just one last question for you. Who is your favorite webcast host of all time?
Well, it's got to be you, Eric.
It does have to be me. It does. It does have to be me. That is the best answer. You have just earned yourself an entire ride on the Star Citizen project. All right, well, folks, Brian's going to sit here with me the rest of the show. We've got just a little bit longer to go, and we'll talk a little bit more about some upcoming events on the show. We're designing a whole new Wingman's Hangar for you. We'll have a set. We'll have segments. We'll have some crazy, things going on. And again, we want your feedback. We want to know what you guys would like to see, what works, what doesn't work. If something in particular happens that you don't like it, we want to know. And judging by the forum so far, yeah, you guys are going to have no problem telling us about that. So there'll be cool new graphics, game demos, and of course lots and lots of information as it becomes available about Star Citizen. I mean, ultimately that's what we're here for. We're here to talk about the game. We're here to be the game and to educate you guys on the process and what we're up to. It's kind of a slice of life in the universe of Star Citizen and the Austin office. So I want to, before I go, I want to say thanks to Bryan for joining us today, for being the handsome one on the set. Got to always thank Chris Roberts. I mean, without him, without his vision, without his making one of the top priorities for us to be active in the community. I mean, most of the time through game development, you develop the game and then you put it out there and you hope.
Cross your fingers and hope that people like it.
Yeah, and I can give you guys a game Starlancer I made. We put a lot of time and effort into putting extra threads in the missions for cooperative multiplayer. Like if you had 2 or 3 people, actual bits of story would open up instead of just the regular. Nobody played that. When we released the game, nobody even played it. So having instant feedback from you guys on stuff like that will help us focus the game and be able to focus more on the fun bits. Also, we want to thank all the new team members that are coming on board that have taken this massive responsibility on. We know how big it's going to be. We believe in the project. They all believe in it. We've been very, very diligent in who we bring on board. They need to be super, super talented. They need to be super, super committed. And committed is a funny word, right? But, in that way. So again, and we have to always thank you guys. Without you, there is no us. I mean, you guys have made this possible. You've made Star Citizen an incredible adventure so far, and who knows where it's going to take us. We believe we're kind of setting the new course for how games are developed with modular development and with interaction with the community at the same time. You guys are literally helping us build the game, and for that, thank you. So coming up this week, the next week in the Austin office, we've got Crytek, a couple peeps from Crytek that we've hired. That's right, we've actually hired folks from the engine team that are going to help us so we can get every ounce of performance out of the Crytek engine we can get. Don't be here next week. We have an on-site going on. There'll be about 24 people crammed in and around the basement here, and it's going to be fun. We'll have 20 team members total in the Austin office by the end of next week. We got 9 new hires starting Tuesday, and again, we've got people in visiting from LA, and it's just going to be cramped, crowded, and the best way you can ever hope development to be, people just getting along, having a good time, making something really cool. And we'll also have a major German gaming magazine in sight doing a cover story on Star Citizen. You guys can probably figure out who that is. Star Citizen. Star gaming magazine in Germany. Gaming magazine about Star Citizen. I don't think I'm being very subtle, am I? Yeah, that's never been my thing. Remember, you can't stop the signal, Mel. So remember, guys, the word of the day is penis. See you later.